Are live.
We
Where's
believe
John
so.
Boy? What happened to Johnny?
He's here.
I don't see him.
You don't see him? John?
That's a shame.
I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you.
I see you.
Okay, good. As long as you see me, that's the most important.
No. I see both of you.
Seeing me is only of importance. Just trying to log in here.
Well, let's welcome everybody to a special time slot edition of Bleach Bangs tonight with our buddy Keith.
Thank you for accommodating my my graciousness. I appreciate that.
Safety first. We don't want you driving.
I'm like, John, you don't understand. I'm wheeling, I'm dealing. I got my hand here, I got my hand there. I'm like, I need like 30 extra minutes, dude. Come on, help me out.
Who did we have that was driving one time? They were headed to a gig or something. It was like they were like, "Yeah, I'm just doing like 100 down the highway or something." Was it Jason McMaster was on the phone?
Jason did do that. Yeah.
I've done 100 once, and it was not fun. It was not exciting. I think about the what could have happened.
Right. You just think just one little
false move.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. It's just one little thing, right?
Yeah.
I think
we just get a little bit into the
jam
grass.
Session.
What's that?
I think we're about to get a little jam session from Keith.
Well, you know, I've been having some guitar issues. Let me tell you about Las Vegas lately. For like the entire rest of the past year, it's been nothing but wind. Okay. It's been the weirdest, windiest city I've ever been in my entire life. And we had 101, 102 the other day, and then it jumped down to 70. So my guitars are kind of like wishing for mercy right now, begging for mercy. How you guys been?
Absolutely wonderful, man.
I love to see how you guys grew the brand and grew the show, and you guys are big time now.
Whatever.
We're big time because we have video. No, we just had to
Uptown, big time now.
We just had to step up. Hey, I do want to make sure that everybody can see we do have our shirts here. They're available.
Let me tell you, that looks big time to me. I don't even have my shirts yet.
If you look very closely at the poster this way, Keith, you might recognize it. You're in it.
Nice. That's so funny. I wish I could point the camera, but I'm looking at it right now. That's like my instead of like gold albums or platinum albums, that's the picture that I celebrate from my past.
Right on. For those of you that don't know Keith from our past as well, Keith was in Wild Street many years ago. That's when we met him. I've remained friends with Keith over the years. I spent part of my honeymoon with Keith in Vegas.
Rocket.
We went and saw the Dead Daisies.
Yes.
Cool.
And they were fantastic.
And Hookers and Blow.
Right.
Oh, sweet.
It was
good old Alex Grossi.
Heck yeah.
Very cool show to be able to go catch while I was out there.
Too bad I wasn't playing.
Very true.
I wasn't playing a lot back then. I was going through this like hiatus.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you in a we were discussing this before he had you on. Are you in a actual band, like original band currently? Are you working with some guys?
No, and I know a lot of my close friends, including you, John, have heard me say this a lot, that I'm working on it. You hear a lot from Keith. I'm working on it. And life has its way at the age that we get to at these days. And, it was tough leading up. Now we do these timelines in our mind about pre-COVID and, post-COVID and shit like that. And things were weird and things got weirder. And I was pretty much done. I was ready to sell it all. I lost all faith in not only myself, but everybody else in this entire universe. Mm-hmm. But I have been making some real efforts to get myself playing and up to playing condition. I swore to the world that I didn't want to do another tribute band. I was done with it. I'm officially done with Kiss until Gene and Paul call me, which I believe I'm running out of time. Well, I don't know. Maybe that time is coming. I don't know.
Hey,
Everybody
I wanna
knows
I want to bounce off that statement from you then. So the Kiss night in Vegas, are you not doing those anymore?
we are. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that. How much time do we have? Because we're going to
We
go
have plenty.
overtime tonight.
We have all the time you want, brother. We got time.
Perfect. All right, we got things to talk about.
Unless we lose power.
Right.
No tornadoes. So long story short, I swore off all tribute bands. I got talked into an ACDC tribute band, which I'd love to mention in a little bit. The longer story short, and of course I want to speak about Retrosonic as well, which is very interesting. It's gotten me to this point where I'm now playing. I've got my strength back, and I've got my focus back, and my clarity back. I call it PMS: physical clarity, mental clarity, and spiritual clarity. So when I'm having a good PMS day, it's a good thing. And that goes for poker too. But I really am taking Zonked seriously. I really, really want to get this album out, and I finally found the pieces to do it with properly. And I've also dealt with a lot of like depression with not being with the guys who I started with from back in New York. I don't talk to them anymore, and it's been kind of hard to just not see this album get done under the name Zonked without them. It took me a long time to get over it, but I have to push forward, and I got the right people in place who are going to help me. So yes, I promise I'm working on something original. I'm also working on not only songs, but some other stuff that I'm trying to get into more heavier stuff,
Right on.
I always try to do the AC/DC, Zeppelin, Kiss thing, but I'm trying to up my game a little bit with some more metal per se. So I think overall, I'm just trying to put out anything. I don't care what it sounds like, but I got the pieces in place, and sooner or later we'll have it. I have to make a promise this time.
Well, now it's recorded, so it's out there.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm putting these things out there so I can make them happen. But speaking of the AC/DC thing, I'll go in some chronological order at the moment. Like I said, I didn't want to do it, and I kind of get talked into it somehow. I have my arm bent, and I enjoy it a lot because I guess it is in my vein of knowledge of rock and roll. I can kind of understand what Angus is doing. I don't think I'm as good as Angus, or I don't think I'm exactly doing exactly what he's doing, but I'm trying. It's been a lot of fun. They're called LVDC. Everybody can catch it at Sin Cities ACDC, all social media, Facebook and Instagram. And it's been building some momentum, but the truth is that they're probably a nickel a dozen, and there's just so many of them. There's really not that much effort for us to get us out as far as most bands who have been together for 10, 15 years, or bands that have great kind of like what do they call that acts to it, like for example AC/DC. It's a great gimmick, you know. Whole lot of Rosies. It's a great gimmick. They'll be booked anywhere. But if you're just trying to do another AC/DC band, it's not really my vision of what 2023 tributes should be, So we're cruising along with LVDC. It's a lot of fun. We have a cool gig coming up next week, doing the halftime show for the Indoor Football League.
Oh, cool.
So I'm trying to convince the NFL that AC/DC is the way to go. So if we start here, maybe we can sneak in or something like that, So that's pretty cool. I'm enjoying LVDC. Really.
I love the arena football. That is so fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Fast.
Yeah. Out of bounds is your lap.
Is
Totally.
there any other upcoming gigs other than that halftime show that you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm playing with Retrosonic. Retrosonic, as far as I can remember, I've never been in an actual cover band. It's always been either I'm playing originals, tribute act, or I'm on the road with D or whoever else is hiring me and things like that. And I'm very shy to be in a cover band, to be honest with you. It's not something I actually think I'm still capable of. I'm still trying to convince myself about it. But playing 40 songs, 40 different songs, not focusing on a band or a show. So it's been a nice challenge, but This band is a really, really great band from Las Vegas. This weekend, we're playing for a basically a benefit show. It's called the Jigsaw Jam West 3 Festival. It's composed of a lot of great bands from out here, and it's going to be a really great night. We're playing over at the Space in Las Vegas. And I believe it is for, if I remember correctly, I guess attention to autism awareness. So it's a really, really great night. It's going to be kind of feel good night to be able to do something for the community and just kind of play rock and roll. It's pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited about it.
Really cool.
Don't have to load in any gear. Just show up and rock and roll.
Hey, there you go. There you
That's
go.
even better.
We'll stop with that.
So you have another Kiss night coming up then?
Yeah, we are officially bringing back Kiss Night. Or I should say they are officially bringing back Kiss Night. I'm not an original organizer of the night. I just kind of got asked to fill in and take over some musical director powers. But I know they consider me a part of it, and I appreciate that. Kiss Night in Vegas. It's a really huge success in this town because what else other than Kiss brings 1 million people together for a great cause, you know? And it's been pretty freaking amazing for the past 7-8 years, you know? I think I only came in about maybe 4 or 5 years ago to first time to check it out. And it's just amazing how this community just glues together for this event, you know. Kiss obviously inspired everybody and brings everybody together. And for the fact that, you know, they do it for such an amazing cause. I don't know if you're familiar with the cause, but basically they raise money to provide the schools of Clark County instruments and gear to the kids in our school districts so that they have more of a musical education. And they've been really successful. I mean, big numbers, you know, tens and twenties of thousands of dollars every year, you know, just on a beautiful small little venue. And the venue, by the way, is basically all of our home here in Vegas. It's called Vamped. And Vamped is definitely the rock and roll capital of the world for sure out here.
Right.
And the entire staff, you know, everybody, our friends, our family, everybody contributes. There's endless hours of rehearsals, endless hours of making sure people are playing with each other, making sure bands are getting on scheduled and things like that. And we have John O'Connor with the crew. The leaders of the whole format are Stoney Curtis, Sean McKee, Morpheus Black, John O'Connor. These guys are the pioneers of this, and it's, you know, you can do a live stream. There's a lot of work it's amazing what we're doing up to the last minute to make this work, and it's just fulfilling, you know. I think they've got some big surprises though for this year. I think you know, Stoney has really encompassed some really great relationships in this town through his Stoney Curtis is, like, you know, one of the most awesome representation of Las Vegas here in Vegas, you know, of guitar players, you know, and he's a good community guy, whatnot. And, you know, he's planning on bringing some surprises in. You know, he's been real good friends with Sebastian Bach. He's been, you know, talking to people like Eric Singer. He's been talking to people like Bruce Kulick. You know, these are all just rumors. Nobody knows if anything's really going to happen, but we never know what's going to happen at Kiss Night. There's been many surprises, and we're really looking forward to it. October 7th. October 7th.
Surprises, you never know. I might show up.
John, I hope you do, because let me tell you, it's going to sound like.
I'm not
That's-
hearing your guitar.
Yeah,
rattle.
it's not
Oh, you're
coming
not hearing it?
across.
It must be throwing it up. Sorry. For the minds who can't hear, that was Deuce.
Nice. Too cool.
This is when I wish I had another hour. I would have taken out the mixing board and mixed it like a big producer studio and see what I could do to make it right. Sorry, fans out there.
It happens. That's what happens with live streams. We always encounter something.
Of course.
Absolutely. Every time.
So yeah. By the way, this town is kicking, man. There's the whole town, everybody's the talent and just the camaraderie in this town, and everybody just kind of always working and playing and gelling with each other. It's a really, really cool town for rock and roll. I myself am hoping for more of an explosion of original music. I think we're in the right place at the right time. And just kind of looking forward to being part of it all, as always.
Absolutely. So when you're doing your tribute bands, like when you're playing the LVDC and stuff, do you, while you're up there performing, do you feel like you're performing as you, or do you feel like you're performing as who you're portraying?
It's a really great question. I'm glad you asked that. I did not expect that. When it comes to Kiss, it's a totally different story for me. When I put the makeup on and the costumes on, you know, and blend in and just, I love portraying Space Ace and Ace Frehley from that classic 70s era. I think you've seen that before. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. That's why I wish I got to play with Kiss, but that's a different story. I take a lot of pride in doing that and playing to that role. But when I played with an Aerosmith tribute band, it was tough. I was kind of being myself, little Joe Perry, little myself. I wasn't really in that mind frame. But I've done Rick Nielsen for Cheap Trick, and that's pretty much full on. You got to be completely wackadoodle to try to even pull off Rick Nielsen.
Yeah.
You got to be nuts. You know what I mean? So, but when it came to the AC/DC thing, there was some, we had some conversations, debates about, like, I'm pretty tall, as it is. It's like I'm not 5'2", so the pictures are going to look different, stage is going to look different, and when we first came out, I think I was kind of pushing it a little too much with that Angus Young kind of thing, and maybe just a little too much. And then I just realized, I'm like, listen, 2023, I was in tribute bands in 1997. Back then, we called the other bands and canceled gigs. We fucked with other bands. We pulled jokes on. We did everything we could do to fuck with people, and everybody was the most premier and the most ultimate and the most exact and the most perfect. It's like, I don't believe in that shit anymore. And to be honest with you, I fucking hate it. There's a trend right now of the fact that bands are going out there and kind of just allowing themselves to pay homage to it. I put this suit on. I got some nice suits. I got the gear. I bought the right guitars.
Yeah.
I learned the tunes. And then the most recent show, I kind of had a meditation with myself, and I was like, listen, I think it's time to just go out there and take a deep breath and kind of be yourself a little bit more. Everybody knows Keith, right? Keith has this brand, of getting up on stage and kind of just letting it loose,
Mm-hmm.
I think people like that. And I'm still trying to, like, every so often have to, like, explain to these guys in LVDC, look, this is just the way it has to be. The people are there to see Keith because Keith is fun, the band, they're there to see the band because the band is fucking ripping. I got to give a prop to the drummer, Ryan Gillen. He started this thing back in Vegas under High Voltage, did a stint with Thigh Voltage, which were chicks, which is pretty fucking nice.
Too cool.
See, it's a perfect gimmick, right? You get these things, right?
It is. It's
High
amazing.
voltage.
Right. So I told the guys, I go, listen, we just got to go out there, have fun. People understand they might find it to be too cheesy if you too much like Angus Young. There's plenty of AC/DC bands out there where you can see a guy that looks a splitting image like ACDC, like Angus Young. There's a great band in Germany called We Salute You. I salute them completely. They are the greatest AC/DC tribute band in the world, without a doubt. Then there's like Young Brothers, and then there's like who's that other cat? I forget this other cat that I just saw. I mean, there's all these great bands, and then there's great ideas like Fat Angus, and like Whole Lot of Rosie. It's genius stuff. So I told these guys, I go, listen, let's go out there. I'm going to be myself. There's times to be Angus, but I enjoy it. I have a little bit more of a breath of fresh air, relaxing and being myself. Last show I was on cloud 9.5. I was really out there. It was phenomenal. We were in the pocket, and it just felt great. And I just felt a little more confident instead of trying to be too much Angus. I pulled out a little more Keith. But I do want to say something. I am working on something very cool in the background. I'm working on something with LVDC that could potentially change our whole show. I have something I'm working on that I think you guys probably would flip your wig when you see it. So I'm never going to talk about it till I put it out. I mean, you're going to flip your wig. You guys are going to love it. So I'm trying to convince these guys. I'm like, listen, if we want to go big time, you got to trust me. Let me take this next adventure to the next step, and let's go for it, because I think it's going to be really great. So look forward to somewhere around October at the end of the year. Definitely going to have a promo video out before that, but I'm going to have something pretty cool, a little spin to LVDC, and it's going to be pretty amazing.
Right
So,
on. Right
yeah.
on. Killer.
And I'm putting that hype out there hard, because
that was right there. Our weekly. I've got something in the works, but I can't really tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, you have
feels good.
you have
We
weekly
love
ones?
those. We love those.
Also, can you see me again now, Keith?
Oh yeah, I can see you now when you talk.
Okay. I was just checking.
It would have been awkward if you were just looking at me this whole time.
Like this.
Yeah, you look great. You sound great. Cheers.
Yeah.
Are we cheersing?
Oh, absolutely. We've got
Let's love you.
we've got like water, Diet Pepsi,
Yeah, I'm drinking water, Diet Pepsi myself. Yeah, right.
We're gonna play a very short clip of a song before we go into the next thing we talk about.
Okay.
And we discussed this before the show. I didn't ask you about it, but we're gonna play.
I hope it's the clip I'm dreaming of, but I'll leave it to you.
Probably
I won't tell you
not.
It might
Probably
be.
not. Probably
It
not.
might be.
But,
Keith
It could
agreed
be.
with me that this is a great song, so it might.
Could be. Okay. Here we go.
I got my blush. I knew it! I knew it!
So,
Amazing.
who is that? I don't even recognize that band. Is that from like 1980? What? Who
You know,
is
I gotta
that?
get that app that puts up to the song, and you gotta guess. The app figures out
Yes,
who it is.
definitely. We need some Shazam.
Shazam.
I think after the story that you just told us about how you are taking over yourself on stage, even in the tribute acts, that just made it even more appropriate that I had already picked that song out. I was like, that's the perfect lead in.
I've had a pretty spiritual awakening over the past like 30 days. I was a badass motherfucker before, but I had something happen, and I've been enlightened, and I found some real great, immense positivity in my life, and I'm feeling that song right now, my brother. I'm feeling
That's
that song.
good. That's
So
good.
you might have been a BAMF, as what you just said, but I'm an SMF for life. Um,
You are
but
legit.
let's talk about.
Do you want to know what video I thought you were gonna play?
Yes, absolutely.
This epic moment of John just effing losing it on stage the day we were in like Oklahoma. I mean, he's on the railing, right? And he's just like,
That would be awesome.
and I was just like, I'm crying right now thinking about it. I'm just like, that was the greatest thing ever.
I'm glad there's no video of that, by the way. So
Amazing.
Keith,
Okay.
while you
Yeah.
were in New York, and even to this day, you do a lot of work with Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
And there's a great story I think we should tell our listeners.
Sure.
Like the first time Keith came to my house and walked into my basement, I've never seen a person freeze and just stare into blankness. And I was like, what's wrong with you? Because my guitar bar that I had in my basement was the guitar that he tuned and worked with Eddie for many years.
Yeah.
And he just stood there staring at it like, and I'm like,
I couldn't believe it.
Earth to Keith, what's wrong with you?
I couldn't believe it. It was just the most outlandish like thing I've ever seen, and I mean that in a positive term. I have to dictionary that right now, but I was just like, "What the fuck is this? Like, how did you get this? How did you do this? You know?"
I mean, it was like 3 a.m. after we got back from Kansas City at the show that you guys played there.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, I took it over because I'm like, like Lestat, like I need to be alone, and I was the only one down there, and everybody else was crashing upstairs. I found this bed down there. I'm like, I'm gonna sleep under this thing down there.
He did, because my basement was still under construction, but there was a bed down there, and he's like, I don't care.
It was amazing. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so absolutely, I have to know what it felt like for you to fill in for Eddie, as you just had the opportunity not too long ago.
Wow. Yeah. Pretty. It was that checkbox in my life that I just been waiting for, kind of just hoping for my whole life. There was once an opportunity that I never told anybody about. It was July 6th, I think, on the farewell tour at Wacken, and I was really prepared for that, but it just happened to be that wasn't the right time. But you know, just getting the call from Danny, I know that being on the West Coast was definitely an advantage, because if they was on the East Coast, I'm pretty sure they would have called Dan, so it was really mind blowing, and I was try to be as humble about it as possible. It's under circumstances that are not favorable. The first thing I did is call Eddie and just let him know that, number one, I will without a doubt, respect your spot and not overdo it, and that's when Keith gets dialed back. When you play with Twisted Sister, when I play with D, he still wants you to rock out, but if you're going to get up there and sit in the shoes of Eddie, then you kind of have to just really respect that spot and play the guitar and kind of shut up and do your job,
Mhm.
But Eddie did give me, the total, just his blessing, and it was, he just said, I know you're going to do great. You know the songs. You've been sitting behind me for 15 years. I know you know what's going on. You brought your Charvel, what's up. And going through it was just probably the most exciting thing ever. I mean, I'm very lucky to say I played with Dee Snider, you know, on his solo tour, and that's along a crew and a cast of incredible musicians. But to finally sit up there with Mark and JJ and Mike, it was pretty overwhelming at first, and I just cannot fucking believe I got that solo right. I just it took me like four times on the first, you know, detour to like, oh my god, this moment's coming, you can't mess this moment up. You could mess up anything all night long, you cannot mess up, we're gonna take it. And
Right.
it just went over perfectly, and I'm just so glad that exists on the internet without any issues, because you know, I'm prone to a bad note here and there. It happens, you know, but the guys were great. You know, they treated me with total respect, and it was really, really cool being in a text message with just those guys. You know, it's pretty awesome, you know, and it was kind of JJ, especially, like, you know, it's JJ's dream, you know, and JJ takes this shit really seriously.
Mhm.
And he's the guy I fell in love with the most over the 20 years, you know, very unsuspecting, because I grew up an Eddie Ojeda fan, you know, grew up loving AJ Pirro, you know, and being wowed by Dee Snider, and always loving the animal. Was always intimidated by JJ, but getting to work with him and going through this experience and just hearing these really great things and these humbling things, it's just really excited to be able to have done it. So I was very, very humbled.
That's
Now turn it up. Blast me a tune. Get off this sappy shit.
like, bro,
That's great.
I almost feel like, but just from hearing you tell the story, I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know I've known Dee since 1995, 1997.
Yeah.
You know, I've crossed a lot of paths with him. I've gone to war with the guy as his tech. I've gone to war with him on stage as a guitar player. It's pretty overwhelming for me. You know, I'm a kid from Long Island that got to fucking play with Twisted Sister. And it's like, you know, these are the things like I just like I had a checkbox for that. I've had a checkbox for something else I can't remember, but of course I have that checkbox for Kiss, you know?
Mhm.
Like, I would just fucking love it if I just got that one opportunity, because it would be just great. It would be awesome, you know? And the guys were great. I was super humbled. Mike was phenomenal. He was so nice about everything. And Mark the Animal was not quite the animal. He treated me with a lot of respect, gave me a phone call the day after. And it was just wild. You know, I got the call, I bailed out of the office. I was on a plane, you know. I'm in an Uber within like 16 hours. I don't know what's going on. I'm at rehearsal. Everything's going a million miles an hour.
Wow.
And it's, you know, it's crazy when Twisted Sister gets together. It's like they hadn't played in years, and like there's just so many people waiting for this to happen. So many people that have traveled. There's people that travel from Australia, Japan, Europe, I believe South America, maybe Canada for sure, people from other states. And it's like the power of Twisted Sister is completely a force that's to be reckoned with for sure. So I got the bug after that. I'll be honest with you. I wish I was doing a little bit more stuff with Dee and stuff like that. I might have an opportunity next year to do some stuff, but I do some like corporate stuff in the background with Dee. Nobody like really sees it really that much. I post about it here and there, but it's pretty cool. We do these like cool little corporate shows. He does like 4 songs, you know, a couple Twisted songs, and Highway to Hell always.
Right.
And it's cool. It's really cool. But I've got a bug. I'm actually working on an idea of trying to do a one night only Twisted Sister set here in Vegas. And I'm not going to tell you. I got you guys twice, and I'm not going to tell you who the singer is going to be, because there's only one guy who could do it, and it's not Dee Snider. Because I'm not going to get who.
You just got us twice in 1 week.
Twice. I'm trying to save a little hype here, but yeah, I'm looking to bring the band that I played with the D solo band. Me, Zack Attack, Nick Nafuzzi on bass. Zack Attack is guitar, and
By
Mike
the way,
Dukey.
I want to interject there for some of those that may not know. Nick, when I first met him, was in a band called Crash Karma,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
who are very very good friends of ours as well. And the intro song that played at the start of the show was done by Crash Karma for us.
Get out of here. Wow. I didn't know that.
Close the circle. It's one big circle, baby.
It's amazing. It really is. So yeah, we got Zack Attack, Nick Nafuzzi, myself, and Mike Dukey, drummer. He's currently in Wednesday 13.
Mm-hmm.
He also played with Wasp when I was a tech for Wasp. And
I didn't know that. I just
I
learned
didn't
something.
know that either.
when I teched for Wasp, it was hands down the worst experience of my life.
Oh no.
Yeah. Crazy shit happened. Blackie Lawless sent me home, and it wasn't my fault. I could go into a whole long story, but I think he missed out on a great tech, and he's got a lot of history of like completely treating his techs like shit. And I kind of wish I was a little bit more vocal about it 20 years
That
ago.
sucks. That sucks
Yeah.
because they're actually going to be here
Yeah.
sometime soon. So
And
I
remember
was really
one thing.
excited.
Yeah, remember one thing. Like, you know, I have these working relationships with people, right? So
Yeah.
I see a different side. Now, I learned at an early age to never hate the artist, never hate the music, hate the artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still love LOVE. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't write a better rock metal song than that, right? But I had a personal experience with him that, you know, kind of set me away on the other side, you know, and yeah, that's how it happens. But Mike Dukey was from Wasp, and we were over in Europe together. So I'm looking to get that band with a specific singer. I want to do a one night only Twisted Sister set, bringing you hour and 15 minutes of the greatest Twisted Sister set possible. Because you don't hear enough Twisted Sister in this town. Nobody's doing it enough. And I got the bug, so I want to go out and do it while it's fresh.
Absolutely.
You know?
I want to get some of our humor out for the night too.
Yeah.
Randy, I want you to know that I didn't even have to try to bring it up this week.
Dude, I knew this was going to be, you were going to have this one. I knew you had that one.
Which one?
The story that I was referring to is every week somehow I interject Kiss into our show.
Oh yeah.
This was a give me.
I knew I didn't have to try tonight.
I get it now. I get it.
I was like, there's no chance I have to even work at it. I'm like, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get the other guitar then. Hold on. Instead of AC/DC guitar, we need a Kiss guitar. Hold on.
Now we're gonna swap it up.
He's gonna grab.
Here we go. Here's that
grabbing the Les
1978
Paul
piece right here, right? Look at this
Oh,
bad boy.
nice.
Right?
It's got some time to it.
Hell yeah.
Ah, baby.
Oh, that is slick.
Oh yeah.
Hey, while
Rock and roll.
he's jamming a touch, I'm gonna grab a photo off my wall to show Keith that he helped me with many years ago, and it adorns my wall now. It's right over here.
Did you know you helped him with something?
I've lost track, maybe.
He knows as soon as he sees it.
Oh wow. That's beautiful.
Nice.
I'm so glad you got that taken care of, man. Let me see it again.
Absolutely.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, that's right. That's beautiful. I can't wait to send that to my buddy, Captain Randy Barrett. He'll love that. He's gonna want that on his wall. He's gonna try to steal that from you.
Send him over. So years and years ago, there's an even great story on the start up to that weekend because I took that picture at Rockin' America in Oklahoma City.
That's crazy.
2010.
I remember
Right.
seeing you on stage at Rock in America. I was like, "There's Keith, man. There's
Bro,
Keith." Up there."
I have a picture of Keith poking out from behind the amps with that guitar in his hand as he was back there messing around. You guys,
Oh, yeah.
He's like just a little bit of. I'm like, there's Keith. Click.
I know you would love that. I knew you would love that.
That's some good stuff.
But
Yeah.
even
You never
leading
knew
up to
where
that-
you were going to find me, either in pink and black on stage rocking out with the guitar, or behind the stage with pink and black tuning a guitar.
and leading up to that Oklahoma City trip, I ran into Keith at the Dallas airport.
Oh my God, that's right.
We ended up on the same flight to Oklahoma City.
My goodness, I can't believe we didn't get kicked off that flight.
It was
What-
a pretty surreal moment to walk through the Dallas airport as I was coming home.
That's right.
I was coming from Florida because I was at a work conference.
Right.
And I was walking one way towards the terminal and he was coming the other way. And I was like, that kind of looks like Keith. And I could see him like
Yeah.
like I was doing the same
That guy
thing.
looks like John Hennis.
And then we realized it's each other. We're like, hey, buddy.
What's your flight number?
We were walking to the same terminal or the same gate.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. God, Rock in America. God, I wish they could do something like that again. Just
No, they're not doing it anymore.
no, it's just a one-time thing.
Oh, bummer. Wow.
Yeah, I mean the party at the hotel, everybody. Just,
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, it's so.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so fun, man.
Oh, it's bitching. Hey, can I get a 15-second beer run?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't think we've ever had a beer run in our show, but now we had one.
Well, awesome.
Like that's incredible. There's so many great stories that we have with Keith, I believe. You know what I mean? Like through the years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave the door open. All right, here he comes. You ready?
Oh, here
His
comes
Majesty
Tux.
is here. You ready? Come on, get up here. Come on.
No, they're still there.
He's
There he
like,
is.
those guys are still there. They know my name, Dad. Yeah, we were
Say hi,
talking
buddy.
Tux pre-show. He turned his back on us though. So
He's so wild. He gets me up at like 4 a.m. He's like, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm like, all right, give him the food. And he just vomits right into his bowl right there.
I think that's phenomenal. Like because my pups wake up at like 3 a.m. every day. So
It sure beats Beck pissing in your living room.
we had like
Do you
what, a
even
week-
remember that, John? Do you remember that?
I know of it.
I
don't
know
think
of
I
it.
saw it. What did we have? Like a week of Wild Street, Black Torah, and the Glitter Boys in the house.
God.
Like
Completely-
basically a week straight.
Completely out of control.
Yeah.
It was absolutely insane. They put like 13, 14 extra people in my house, and that was before my basement was done. So other than
Yeah.
Keith, everybody was upstairs.
I was like, fuck this shit. I'm fucking out of here. At one point, I don't know what all three bands and our gracious host were feeding on or drinking or ingesting. But at one point, I turn around and Beck, the drummer of Wall Street, he doesn't know where he is. And he's in the corner of John Hennis's freaking living room, just pissing, and he doesn't even know where the fuck he is. John, I think I still owe you a dry cleaning bill for that.
I don't live in that house anymore. We're good.
Okay, somebody should have framed that corner. I could have sworn that's on video too. I think that's on video.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Wall Street got a little out of hand.
are you still in touch with any of those guys? Because I talked to Eric, but he's the only one that I still am in contact with. So I was just curious.
You know, it bums me out. Like, you know, I'm the emotional guy in the band. rainbows and astrological signs, and like I believe in things like we did something crazy. Just keep in touch, say hello every once in a while. I don't
Right.
ever talk to Beck. I never talk to Jimmy, unfortunately. That pisses me off.
Mm.
Uh, Me and Allie, happy birthday here, happy birthday there. I know he's working, I'm working. We're kind of, believe it or not, after all these years, I kind of feel a little bit more closer to him than anybody, even though we really don't talk.
Right.
And I try to keep in touch with Eric. You know, it's just we try every once in a while, but it is what it is. There were talks about 6 years ago. I think we tried. I think we all tried for about 36 hours to talk to each other. It didn't go over well.
Hmm.
But I'll be pretty honest. It kind of bums me out. That was my favorite band. Um, I'm just as responsible for the bullshit as much as anybody else. Can't blame anybody. We're right time, wrong place. And it was difficult to get that band up and running properly financially.
Mhm.
The talent was there and the show was there, but once Jimmy split, I was done. You can't have Wild Street without Jimmy. And as soon as he bailed, I was like, this is going down the fucking tubes really fast. But I get bummed out every once in a while. Sometimes I go down memory lane. I look at these footage and the photos and the things that could have been, the people who could have helped us. It's just I would love a do-over.
Yeah.
Good band, great tunes, great energy on stage. We almost had something, But best, without a doubt, best time of my life. I mean, that was rock and roll. Touring in that van. I mean, if anybody out there in the internet world never saw Wild Street's touring van,
Bro, that van.
it belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we bought it off of somebody in Brooklyn for like, I don't know, $1,500. And it's just all spray painted,
Yeah.
totally like, totally like, Brooklyn, Bronx. And it was like, there's this one time I'll never forget. I wish I could have it in slow mo. All of us are dressed for a gig. We're in black and pink and eyeliner, and we're pretty, and we're ready to rock, right? And we roll up, and we are blasting Snoop Dogg on like 20, and people are just like, "What the fuck just showed up?" And it was the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen, just to see people's reactions when we open these doors. It's like, smoke machine and us coming out in slow motion. It was fucking phenomenal. A lot of great things came of it. I met my wife because of it. I wouldn't have been standing there if it wasn't for her. So something great came out of it.
Absolutely. And tell her we said hello as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
She informed me to say hello to you first. Ha!
So I want to take us just off of music briefly.
Okay.
And I want to hit one of your other passions.
Oh, here we go, baby.
Because I
Been
know
in Vegas.
I 1,000% know how passionate you are about it. How's your hockey going?
Hockey?
He says hockey.
I thought you were talking about something else.
I did too.
Where are you going with this, Johnny?
How's your hockey going, brother?
Hockey. I love my Knights. I love them to death. I created a pretty large family feud over it. The fact I remember the day I got my Knights Discover card, and I had a Rangers Discover card, and I cut it, and I sent the picture to my family, and that sparked like World War III. But I still love the Rangers. I love the Knights, and I believe in them. But I'm also being careful to not get too emotionally involved, because those years of losing my hair over hockey needs to be relaxed.
Hey, I get that. I had a very emotional ending to the season this year. Myself, to see our team captain play his last game at home.
All right.
That was that was like devastating blow to me. So
I thought he could get in. I mean, when they were doing this whole trade thing, I was like, come on, send Kane to the Knights. Send Kane to the Knights. But as far as Patrick, sorry, Hayes, you talking about?
yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. He should be he's probably deserving a banner.
it was. I know Randy's sitting here like, what are these two talking about? Who are these people?
I really do. I really, it's hockey's kind of like baseball to me. I can't watch it on TV, but when you're there, that's the shit. I
You know, it's
mean,
funny you say that. You know, because now I'm at an age and a point of hockey where fuck going to these games. You know why? I mean, the Knight Stadium is beautiful. It's friggin' rocking.
uh-huh.
Okay. But you got $16-17 beers, my guy.
Oh
you know,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
yeah.
you know what? I'll pirate the game. I'll grab a 6-pack. I'm good to go. Watch
Right.
the hockey, parking, look, I'm a gambling man. I pay my dues here in Vegas, and I'm supposed to get free parking. But on the day of the Knights game, they take my tier away and they say, no, you can't park here for free. So it's like $40 a park.
Oh shit.
It's just it's out of control.
Yeah, that's not worth it.
It's not.
Mhm.
So, but it is a great stadium, and I have been there quite a lot. And I love my Knights. But we had a shit game last night, so we got to get back on the ropes, baby. I thought you were going to ask me about poker.
And so did I.
Okay.
I thought
I
that's
was
right.
like, well, you were wearing your Knights hat, so I was like, I had to bring it up. Like, I knew that you guys were still doing well. I mean, my Blackhawks this year, so
Yeah, you guys were trying to get like first pick this year.
bro,
You guys,
and I'm
you,
gonna-
you
I'm gonna
guys
tell
were
you
so
right
bad
now,
you couldn't even get last place.
like the Bears sucked and they got the #1 pick, and like all the fans were cheering. I'm like, you guys are cheering that you sucked. Like, what's wrong with you? No, that's not.
At least they're
to be proud
standing
of.
behind management.
Like, that's not to be proud of. Like, no, I
Yeah,
don't. I
it's
don't
pretty rough
view it
in
as
Chicago
we
right
got
now.
the #1 pick. I'm like, hey, we suck. So, how's your poker going? I know that you've had a couple good tournaments.
Yeah. I'm a tournament player. I like competition. For those out there who don't know what tournament is, you get a stack of chips. They're fake. Can't cash them in. And you got to beat out 200 people. And about 2 weeks ago, I came in second place. I was pretty proud of that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Wow.
So I beat out 198 people of some sort. It's a fun thrill for me. It's like I really like competition and using the brain to kind of fuck with people. That's what poker's all about.
Mhm.
I'm a pretty funny character at a poker table. I become somebody totally different other than the Keith that you guys know. I'm just mentally screwing with people all day long as much as I can to just.
So at the poker table, there's a different persona than even your tribute bands and the Keith and the. Now you see, now you're adding another person.
Funny you should say that. I'm not an actual Gemini, but as an Aries, my moon rising or whatever the F it is, I'm a Gemini rising of some sort, right? So I realized I was like, okay, I'm like a doppelganger. I like to copy things and I like to mimic, and I like to be like the other half of something. So I try to mimic myself in every little. I'm a chameleon Keith, everywhere I go.
Oh,
See you, Tux.
hey Randy, do you have any more questions?
No, not really. I really just wish we would be able to hear the guitar. I don't know what's going on with
Oh,
that.
for real.
That's too
That's
bad.
really up. Yeah, this is like the whole premise that we wanted to do video. Is,
You know what the
dang.
key is? The key
What's that?
is for someone to be going through a mixer and mixing it before it hits Zoom or like Skype or something like that.
Yeah.
That way it can kind of compress itself getting to your alarm.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it sounded like. It was just redlining.
Oh yeah.
It was just boom. So yeah, it's still
Still,
yeah. It
I'm not
shuts
even
it.
using an app right there. That's just
I'm like
clean.
it's just like shutting it off. It's saying no.
Well, I don't know. Are we almost wrapping up here? Is that
I
where
think-
we're getting down to?
I think so. I think Randy's gonna play us a little outro. If you'll give us just a second, hang with us, Keith, and he'll
Yeah.
Can I just throw out a couple other plugs real quick?
absolutely.
All right, so let me get my notes here, of course. Don't forget, we got Retrosonic, Facebook, Instagram, Retrosonic LV for Las Vegas. Follow us. We got a great band doing a great cause this weekend. We're playing for the Jigsaw Jam West, and that is a great awareness concert that we're bringing to the community. Very excited about that. Another thing, LVDC at Sin Cities with an S, Sin Cities, ACDC. Check us out. Like, subscribe, get on the train. It's a lot of fun. You get to see this guy all the time. And also, I didn't get to talk about Cyanide, but check out Cyanide LV. I'm recording a heavy metal album with them right now here in town. And Robert Hussey is this lead singer of this band. It's a great band. It's a great heavy metal album. I think you guys will really like it. The song that I'm pushing the most is 21 Gun Salute. It's pretty bitchin'. So when that comes out, I'll have to forward it to you.
Yeah.
Kiss Night coming up October 7th. Kiss Night, Las Vegas. Look us up. And just keep your eyes peeled for all these secrets I've been talking about.
That was perfect.
We bang your ugly friends too.